If you're anything like me, you're always looking for the next big business hack or life hack. This was always something that was fascinating to me, and I was always interested to see what people's takes are. So here's my take. If you want the business hack or the life hack, run the race with endurance. Treat it like an athlete treats their game. Here's what I mean. 3 things. Athletes practice. So in business, you have to practice. Now, what does that mean? Well, an athlete's non-negotiable is going to be their practice prior to the big games. So in business, you got to put in the reps. There's non-negotiables, right? You do this no matter how you feel, what the weather is, it doesn't matter. You do it. That's your practice. Athletes also take some time to recover. And I've talked about this before. You need at least one day to rest, get rejuvenated, spend time with family, do something fun, more or less treat yourself so that you're fully recovered and at the top of your game to run the plays hard. And the last thing that they do is they review the game tape. So in business, we've got to review our data, our numbers. You got to track and measure. If you're not tracking and measuring, how do you know what progress you've made or if you've made any? You know, I've talked a lot about the habit tracker that I use. Here's mine for the month. That's my gameplay. I know what plays I've ran, I know what practices I've done, and I know the results of it. I know where I've improved and where I've not improved. Good, bad, or ugly, I know it because I tracked it. That's my gameplay review. So if you want the ultimate hack, you got to treat your business like an athlete treats their game. You got to be 100% dedicated to it. You got to work it. You got to practice it. You got to run the plays. You got to look at the playbooks. Then you got to review the gameplay, and you also have to recover. We are not machines. We can't run 24/7. You got to at least take one day. Now, there's a lot of guys on here that talk about, the hustle culture and all this kind of stuff, where you just need to work more, longer, harder, and that's fine. But if you don't take at least one day, then you'll hustle it out for a month or two, and then you're going to burn out, and you're going to lose all the momentum you just built. That'd be like an athlete hustling it out 7 days a week, all the time, and then they're going to get injured and they're out of the game altogether. Their season's blown. All that momentum, all that exercise, all that progress in the gym, it doesn't matter. It's blown. You just lost all your gains because you didn't take the time to recover and rest. Same thing applies here. So, practice, recover, gameplay. This is the deal. It's something that I've been thinking about, something that I've been actually working on, something that I've been doing and practicing. Okay? You're going to screw it up. That's fine. But that's what the practice is for. You get the reps in. You just keep pushing, keep doing it again and again. Whether it's boring, whether it's exciting, it doesn't matter. You just show up and you do it. The athlete gets up at whatever time they get up and they get to practice whether they feel like it or not because the coach is going to kick their butt. Well, we don't have a coach. We don't have anybody in our corner that's going to make us do it. That's the one big difference. You got to be your own coach. That's why videos like this were always helpful to me, is because I used these as sort of my kick in the pants. So guys, I don't know if this is helpful or not, but this is sort of my take on the hack, on how to actually push forward in a simple little method, a 3-part method to view your business, right? I mean, it's not the details or the nitty-gritties, and that's fine. But if you just break things up into chunk, much like time chunking your day and breaking it into categories and then pushing everything through a particular category so you can get focused on it, you need to break up your business into segments. The practice is the doing. That's the active everyday hustle. The recovery, that's your mindset and your body, and just you got to have time for yourself. The gameplay, that's your tracking and measuring. What you don't track does not get improved, period. If you don't know where you're at, you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you've been. That's your gameplay. So that's your steps, guys. Hopefully this is helpful. This is just my take. We'll see you on the next round.